Hello and good day, good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you watch this, I hope you're having an awesome day. I know I sure am. Now I have in front of me the entire lineup of Picky bars, energy bars, along with their performance oatmeal and some of their performance granola, which is a pretty new product on their line. Now Picky Bar, if you're not familiar with them, was founded by a guy named Jesse Thomas, who's this really cool professional triathlete who made his name by winning the Wildflower Triathlon in Southern California. And he's one of the few professional triathletes who's been able to make a name for himself outside of winning like the Ironman World Championships. And he's done this by just being like a really cool guy, really charming, and making a really great presence on social media. So I think that if like there were more people in the world like Jesse Thomas, the world would probably be a better place. So he's kind of known for like showing up at this race, the Wildflower Triathlon, one year on a janky old borrowed bike, some borrowed race clothes and a bike helmet, and some gas station aviator sunglasses. That's kind of what he's known for, is always wearing aviator sunglasses in all of his races. So he definitely makes a statement for himself. So in an effort to make it big as a professional triathlete, he started up this food company called Picky Bars that made performance fuels for people who were doing longer endurance races like Ironman Triathlon. And he was really mostly concerned with getting as much energy as he could out of his foods and fuels while still being able to have them be palatable for an entire day and make the food so that they wouldn't upset his stomach while they're eating them. Because if you're not familiar with an Ironman Triathlon, these are races that take, 10, 12, 16 hours to complete. So you're eating like thousands of calories over the course of a day while you're, swimming, biking, and running. So honestly, like the hardest part of an Ironman Triathlon is eating all that food without getting an upset stomach and still feeling like you're okay to run a friggin' marathon. So I've known of Picky Bars for a while. I've never tried them until today. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Jesse Thomas formulated. So it's minimal processing, as close to natural as you can get. So I feel like I've talked enough about Jesse Thomas, so without any more stalling, I'm gonna try some of these Picky Bars and let you guys know what I think. Now first off, I'm gonna finish off this smooth caffeinator bar. This is made with hazelnut, chocolate, and coffee. And just to give you guys an idea of what all these bars are like, I'll go through some of the ingredients on some of these, not all of them, because I think they're all gonna be pretty much similar, like you're gonna be able to tell what's in them. But in this one we have hazelnuts, dates, tapioca syrup, rice protein, brown rice, dried cranberries, apricots, semi-sweet chocolate chips, coffee, sea salt, brown rice syrup, red ape cinnamon, and mixed tocopherols, and almonds. So a lot of these are, natural sugars, organic ingredients, stuff like that. And this only has 11 milligrams of caffeine. So it does have a little bit of caffeine in there, but it's comparable to like a cup of decaf coffee. So it's not going to, buzz your eyes out like a lot of caffeinated supplements do nowadays. I know like 300 milligrams is pretty typical for a lot of energy supplements with like pre-workout supplements and stuff like that. So one of these bars is 180 calories with 8 grams of fat, 24 grams of carbohydrate, and 6 grams of protein. So it's clearly not like a fast digesting fuel that's gonna spike your blood sugar. It's the kind of thing that you're gonna eat for like a really long bike ride or something like that. All right, just out of the box, you can really smell the coffee coming off of this. And it does have a nice mix of all the different flavors in there. Nothing is too overpowering, but it does taste a lot like coffee. It does have a little bit of that chocolate in the background. So it's really chewy, but it's very easy to chew. Unlike Cliff Bars. If you guys saw my review of Cliff Bars, you'll know that I got a major headache from trying to chew all those things. They were just so hard to chew after a while. No, I feel like this is the kind of thing that would be really easy to eat It's very compact. So the smooth caffeinator, I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. It's a very good flavor, especially if you're a coffee lover. Really good. Next up, the cinnamon roll-in with raisin, walnuts, and cinnamon. Now with this one, I can definitely taste the cinnamon, but I also taste a little bit of that pea protein coming through. Like, it does have a hint of that, you know, kind of protein powder weirdness going on. It's not super bad, but I feel like I want this to be a little bit sweeter. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. I do like cinnamon roll flavored things when they're done right, but I don't think this one really hits the mark. All right, next up, In Almond, which has almonds, apricots, and chocolate chips. And for some reason, has a bunch of cinnamon sticks on the front of the package. So I don't know what's up with that, but let's check the ingredients. We have, let's see, we start with almonds. Got some apricots, some pumpkin seeds, sea salt, and some cinnamon in it. I wonder if cinnamon is just like in all of these. I know that cinnamon is something that a lot of folks will use to manage their blood sugar. Cinnamon will reduce the blood sugar spike that you might get from eating a really quick digesting carbohydrate. So if you were going to go on an endurance race and you want to avoid those, you know, sugar spikes and crashes, maybe cinnamon's one way that you can do that to manage that. There we go. Yeah, that's a pretty good flavor. I was a little bit dubious of how apricots and chocolate might go together. It's definitely more apricot-y than it is chocolatey, because I don't think that chocolate and fruit is really a good mix in most circumstances, especially when you have something that's really sweet like an apricot. But that is kind of a nice flavor combination with just a little hint of chocolate in there. Yeah, that's very good. I really like that. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Maybe even a 7.5 out of 10. I had no idea that I liked apricots so much, but I guess I do. I love that these things are named like kind of cheeky and kind of playfully. It gives you an indication that Jesse Thomas doesn't take himself too seriously. So this is the Need for Seed bar with sunflower butter, honey, and chocolate. Oh, that sounds like an amazing combination. Now, sunflower butter is just pretty much like peanut butter, except it's made out of sunflower seeds instead of peanuts, which is really great. If you've never tried it before, you know, sunflower seeds aren't very much, like sunflower seeds are pretty comparable in price to peanuts, so it doesn't tend to be super expensive if you make it yourself. I don't know why sunflower butter is so expensive if you make it pre-made, or if you buy it pre-made, but it just is. I think somebody's trying to capitalize on that. Anyway, I digress. Let's try this thing out. Yeah, That tastes wonderful. Oh, that sunflower butter with honey is an awesome combination. I think it's really delicious. Very good. Now that's a bar that I could eat all friggin' day. 8 out of 10. Easy, no problem, best one yet. All right, next up, we have Chai and Catch Me with almonds, ginger, and cardamom. I think cardamom is actually a pretty nice spice. Ooh, that is very fragrant. Smells almost a little bit like potpourri. That's what cardamom smells like. Oh yeah. So, if you imagine eating like a fruit cake, cardamom is a spice that's really often used in, you know, holiday seasonal dishes, things like that. That's what cardamom is. So this kind of tastes like Christmas. I think it's a little bit too heavy on the cardamom. It goes just over that line into tasting a little bit like soap. It's not bad though. Not super bad at all. Now, ginger and cardamom are two spices that are really great if you have an upset stomach. So I think that's why they I think that's why they went really heavy in the cardamom in this bar. Because if you've eaten like 15 of these and you still have to run a marathon, and that'll help, settle your stomach a little bit. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Not my best, not my favorite, but still it's not bad. I think I'd still nosh on these for a while. "100% the best name yet. Lauren's Mega Nuts." Made with peanut butter, fruit, and honey. So I'll bet this is gonna taste like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yep, you can smell that peanut butter coming off of it. You can see some pumpkin seeds in there. These things don't look particularly attractive, but I gotta say they are really delicious. Very yummy compared to a lot of energy bars out there. Oh yeah. So this just has a ton of different nuts in there. There's walnuts, pumpkin seeds, cashews, almonds, along with the peanuts, and a ton of different fruits in there. There's some cranberries. There's some of those apricots again, along with some apple juice concentrate. Just a ton of different flavors, and somehow they all work. I think that's because like a lot of them work together. They are very similar flavor profiles. So nothing is really clashing, even though there are a ton of flavors in there. So this is amazing. This is delicious. Another 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. Very, very good. I mean, I feel like that's one that you could like give a kid, and the kid would probably really love it. So very good. Good job, Jesse Thomas, and on making these awesome bars. The next one, fudge nuts with peanut butter and chocolate, and that's all it is. This is a little bit of a shorter ingredients list than some of the other ones. It's just peanuts, different kind of natural sugars, and chocolate chips. Looks great. Very dark color on this one. You can tell that it's made with a lot of cocoa. I feel like since it is so much chocolate and cocoa forward, it is a little bit harder to chew and a little bit drier than some of the other ones. It is very rich, just on the edge of being bitter. Not quite bitter, just enough sweetness to cut through that bitterness of the cocoa and chocolate. And it is very much fudge forward with a little bit of peanuts on the back end. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I was expecting it to be a little bit more like a Reese's peanut butter cup, but it's still really delicious. Very good. Next up, Moroccan Your World. I guess these are Moroccan flavor profiles? I don't know. Maybe if somebody out there is from Morocco or has visited Morocco, they could tell me. But here we have turmeric, ginger, and pistachios. And if you guys have watched my videos for a while, you might know how I feel about turmeric. I think that it is one of the few things out there that really deserves that moniker of superfood. So looking through this, we have our apricots again, cashews, pistachios, we have raisins and currants. Interesting. Well, let's see how this one turns out. I like pistachios. I don't eat them too often though. It's a very interesting smell to it. Okay, yeah, I can enjoy this. This is pretty good. If you've never had currants, they're kind of like wee tiny little baby raisins with an amped up flavor that's just turned up to 11. That's the main flavor that I'm getting from these. You can taste the pistachios just a little bit, but lots of spices. I can really taste ginger and cinnamon coming through. Not so much of the turmeric though. That's one thing, is turmeric is very healthy, but it's not a particularly enjoyable flavor in my opinion. It can come off as kind of earthy and just not really delicious. That's if you overuse it. Of course, spicing with just a little bit is pretty good. And turmeric isn't super exotic. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that turmeric is pretty common. Like, it's the stuff in mustard that turns it yellow, and it's the stuff in yellow curry that, you know, turns it yellow. So you might be eating turmeric and you don't even know it. Now, this is a very strange flavor profile, but I love it. I mean, 7.5 out of 10, very good. So if you want to try something that's different, definitely try some of this Moroccan Your World picky bars. Really good. I've never had anything like it before. Yeah, it's really tasty. All right, and last up we have Blueberry Boom Dizzle. God, what a ridiculous name. All right, this has blueberries, almonds, and vanilla. This one's a little bit sticky, a little bit tacky. I don't know how I like that. I don't really like sticky things when I'm riding my bike. You know, I want to keep it pretty clean, but we'll see. Almonds and blueberries, 100% amazing flavor combination. I love that. And that vanilla comes through, just smooths it out just a little bit, kind of rounds out the flavor. You get that vanilla a little bit on the back end. Oh gosh, that is a wonderful, wonderful flavor. If it wasn't for how tacky it is, this would be like a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. But it is kind of sticky. I don't like that it is like sticking to my fingers a little bit. So if I was racing, this might be like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Not my first choice for a race, but amazing flavor. right, so next up I want to try some of these varieties of oatmeal that they have. Now this is really high calorie, energy dense oatmeal that you might have before a race. And they actually suggest making overnight by, pouring cold water into the oatmeal and just letting it sit in a refrigerator overnight. I know that soaking oatmeal like that does make it a little bit more digestible, but I'm in a hurry, so I just poured on some water and made it like normal. I don't think I used quite enough water, so it is pretty thick. Obviously, if you like a thinner oatmeal with a little bit more volume, then maybe just use a little bit more water. So first up, I'm gonna try, how about damn apples? Now this is 325 calories per packet with 11 grams of fat, 50 grams of carbohydrate, and 10 grams of protein. So like I said, it is very calorie dense. We got rolled oats, almonds, chia seeds, dates, dried apples, coconut sugar, sea salt, cinnamon, and ginger. 100% organic. Again, we're going for things that are going to be very digestible, very energy dense, not gonna sit heavy in your stomach. So let's try this. How about them apples performance oatmeal? Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think that if I was going to have this the morning of a race, I think that I'd be perfectly happy with this. It's not heavy on the salt. I think that for my tastes, I might want a little bit more salt, probably add a little bit myself. Don't really get a lot of apple flavor in this though. Strangely enough, I think the predominant flavor in here is the chia seeds, which are kind of like an earthy flavor. It's a little bit difficult to describe the flavor of chia seeds if you've never had them yourself. But I think that this would work great for me. Oh man, lots of apple in that bite. I think maybe just all the dried apples might have just migrated to one part of the bowl. I don't know. But those almonds give it a nice little extra crunch in there. It's really good. So next up we have the Game Set Matcha performance oatmeal with matcha, goji berries, pepitas, and cardamom. And pepitas, that's just pumpkin seeds. Now this is another one that's slightly caffeinated. We got 25 mgs of caffeine in here. Again, not a ton, it's like less than a half a cup of coffee. So this is just gonna give you a little bit of a pick-me-up, not super big. And goji berries, they're one of these quote-unquote superfoods. I don't know why goji berries are a superfood. I guess they're kind of tasty. I don't know. I think they're just like a typical regular dried fruit. So let's try this. This is a very green oatmeal. Got a little bit of that like lawn clippings flavor that you get from from matcha. I think there's a little bit more salt in this one, so it does match my kind of preferred flavor profile in that sense. Not a big fan of green tea though. I think I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10, maybe even a 4 out of 10. Not my favorite one. I might prefer just a regular I might prefer just a regular bowl of oatmeal with a cup of coffee on the side. Still, don't want to waste, so I'm obviously gonna finish it off. All right, and last for the oatmeals, can't beat chocolate. With beets, cacao, chia seeds, and almonds. Now this one is extremely red, going the other way with the color. And it does have beet powder in it, which is, it's one of these performance things that's a vasodilator, so it's supposed to like increase your blood flow a little bit, makes you, gets oxygen into your muscles a little bit more quickly. I don't know if there's going to be enough beets in here to really make a difference for somebody. I know that in order to get that purported performance boost from beets, you have to eat a lot of beets quite consistently. So hopefully they didn't put that many beets in it, because beets kind of taste like dirt. I'm not a huge fan of them, but maybe if they combine it with enough chocolate, then it's pretty good. Now, thankfully, these do not taste like beets, so pretty happy about that. It's very chocolate forward. I taste more chocolate than anything else in this. It's not super sweet. You do get a little bit of earthiness, like that might be from the beets. I think if it was a little bit sweeter, it'd be more to my liking, but still, it's not bad. So for the Cant beet chocolate, I'm gonna say that's a 6 out of 10. I think if I ate a little bit more, then I might get some of that beet flavor coming through, which is, like I said, not my favorite, but it's not a deal breaker for me. It's way more about chocolate than it is anything else. I realized that I might not have given the How About Them Apples oatmeal a score, so I'm gonna say these were a 7 out of 10. Easily my favorite of the 3 oatmeals on the table. But again, I think that the energy bars I was a little bit more impressed with than the oatmeal. All right, so last up, this giant bag of, of granola. Which is called the Athletically Balanced Superfood Ingredients. Peanut butter and jelly, yes. So what have we got in here? This bag contains 5 servings of 270 calories with 14 grams of fat, 32 grams of carbohydrate, and 7 grams of protein. So it's a little bit more on that for the balance of fat instead of carbohydrate. So I think this is the kind of thing that you might use if you were going out for a hike or something like that. Maybe a little bit lower intensity, but I think this is closer to like actual real food and a little bit further away from the processed performance kind of foods. So in here we have peanut butter, berries, cashews, and ground flax. All right, let's get this thing open. I want to try some because I love me some peanut butter and jelly. Ooh, it's very red. Lots of freeze-dried berries in here. We got some strawberries, some freeze-dried raspberries, which are very tart. I can taste the cashews coming through there, which I love cashews. I think they're pretty dang good. Not quite as much as I like pecans or peanuts, but I still think cashews are pretty delicious. Oh yeah. Now this is another one, and I'm really surprised that there's not more salt in this, because I do like salty foods. So I think that if there was a little bit more salt, it would probably be a little bit more to my taste. But if you're looking for a good combination of superfoods, something that's super healthy that you can kind of snack on, this is probably the way to go. I mean, a little bit of tartness from all those freeze-dried berries, a little bit of richness, awesome texture from the granola itself. Oh no. And a nice resealable bag, so I think they realize that people aren't going to eat this entire thing in one sitting, unlike a lot of these other foods. I love that combination of berries and peanuts. It is exactly what you'd expect from a PB&J granola. It doesn't quite evoke that peanut butter and jelly flavor and feeling like I was expecting it might. I think if it was a little bit more forward with the peanut flavor, that would be the case. But no, the tart flavor of those berries are really what's coming through more than anything else. So I'm gonna give this, we'll say a 6 out of 10. Not as good as some of the other stuff on the table, but still not bad at all. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Picky Bars and the various products that these guys make. I know Jesse Thomas is a really cool guy that has a lot of passion for the stuff that he makes, and it really shows in his products. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And remember, I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in and watching. And until next time, peace out. You guys take it easy.